What's good, sports gamers? And with 2K23 dropping on PS Plus this month, and y'all liking the video I did last year around this time, I got y'all again. So here's 24 tips and tricks you need to know in NBA 2K23. So alright, let's get it. When your opponent grabs a rebound after your missed shot, there's a habit to switch on to the closest player to the ball and go for the steal. This hasn't been worth it for a few years now, and especially now, you're gonna want to avoid doing this as you can be called for a transition take foul, which guarantees free throws for your opponent. So instead, after a missed shot, you can increase your chances of forcing a turnover by playing the passing lanes if their non-dribbling power forward or center grabs the board. You can do this two ways, whether it be from immediately trying to take away the closest passing option for the rebounder with the guy you just missed the shot with, or by hitting R1 or RB on your controller to bring up your icons, and then L1 or LB, which switches you to your defender closest to the opposite basket, to play any deep passes almost like a free safety and cause mayhem that way. When you're coming up the court, you want to be aware of any frisky human defenders trying to steal the ball, or in general, be a pest to you. And by doing so, end up behind you. And the moment they do that, you have a 5-on-4 up the court. Being aware of this gives you a numbers advantage up the court if you attack right away and not slow down. Forcing that issue can lead to a clean pass for a dunk or two passes for an open shot on the perimeter. Which again, as long as you don't let them catch up to you. Take advantage of the opportunity when it happens. Another way to create turnovers is rushing the ball hand of the ball handler. It's not that cool when you're on the receiving end of it, but it's effective when the situation arises and you can predict when the ball handler is going to move in a certain direction. You do want to avoid going for the rush steal when you're the last line of defense though, or else you will give up an easy 2 points. One of the current gen exclusive mechanics in 2K23 is the ability to hang on the rim after dunking on 5 people. Which you can do this by, the most important part is holding and never letting go of the right trigger on your controller, and then aiming and also holding the right stick down to hold onto the rim after dunking. Again, as long as you're holding the right trigger, you're good. Now while holding on, you can swing side to side and up and down with the left stick as well. But beware of holding onto the rim for too long or the ref will get you. Probably my favorite addition to 2K23 is quick scoop layups. This move is so fun to pull off on bigs thinking they're about to time you up and smack your shot off the backboard. To perform it, all you have to do is hold the right stick to the left or right and they will lay it up with that hand. It's best utilized when your closest defender is either behind you or coming from the side. One beauty of this move is you can move sideways away from the rim to get maximum separation from incoming defenders and still activate this move. One of the easiest scoring opportunities you will have in the game that you can't ignore is the putback chances that will come up throughout the game and capitalizing on them. Instead of bringing the ball back down and forcing up a contested shot. Your player will automatically start the putback animation before he leaves the ground, and you'll be able to see it before it happens, so don't worry. And when you do, all you have to do is hit square or X on your controller and that player will attempt to score the ball that he will convert majority of the time, which is why you need to always be prepared to put the ball right back up. If you're playing against a full court press or heavy one-on-one pressure in the backcourt, I'm not sure if you know, but you can call a screen in the backcourt to help clear out room for you and spring yourself free. If you're trying to attack in the post but there's another defender in there, don't panic and pass out quickly as you can outweight them as your player clears from under the rim to give you a clean one-on-one opportunity. When guarding near the sideline, your number one priority should be defending the sidelines because that's where your opponent is likely attacking. So having that in your mind from the jump can help you react faster if it turns out to be true and block them off, forcing them back inside. One thing you might not be aware of when it happens, but once you do, you'll be able to react way faster because it's in your head, is when your off-ball defenders decide to pick up the ball handler, leaving their man wide open on the perimeter for a shot. This happens so often and guys are so used to this pass being wide open when it does happen, players sleepwalk into making this pass. So this is your chance to create some of the easiest steals in your life simply by reading this ahead of time and continuing to run over to the open man when your off-ball defender does come over. Doing this, you can cause deflections, steals, and at worst, heavily contested shots because they didn't think you were going to be there. So be ready to bolt over when the situation arises. When defending the paint, you're either anticipating or reacting. The problem with anticipating is you can easily be fooled if they pump fake or don't go up right away. So you're going to want to react to the player's feet, leaving the floor to time up your jump, thus removing you from biting on pump fakes and such. By hitting the block button and aiming the left stick away from the player in question. Doing this, you will still get great contest and block chances without fouling as often. Now to take your passing to the next level, you're going to need to know how to icon lead pass. It's so valuable because it allows you to create scoring chances out of nowhere, connecting what you see on the court with you telling the AI player where to go. Don't sleep on this power. And to do it, you bring up your icons with RB or R1, then aim the left stick in the direction you want the pass to go to, while then hitting the icon of the player you want to pass it to. So you can pretty much lead a player into the paint, behind the three-point line, or even get them moving from a stationary position into an attacking one. Icon lead passing is too powerful not to use if you haven't been using it already. Now let's talk about lead to the basket passing, which tells whoever you're aiming at to cut towards the hoop. Its main use this year is to break away from defenders playing too tight, or sometimes just in the area because they react funky to it. So if the lane is open, don't be shy utilizing it. And you pull it off by aiming the left stick at your target and then hold triangle or Y on your controller. And then let go of the button when you're ready to pass it. Now if the pass doesn't look like it's going to be open, hit R1 or RB twice to bring up and then remove your icons to cancel this pass. Regarding passing, you must always be thinking in the back of your mind, he may look open, but is he really? Because we know at times you pass to somebody and it's like the defender came out of nowhere to steal it. We want to avoid that. So you want to scan the immediate area for the closest defender to check if he's lurking your passing lane. Doing this can double confirm for you that the pass won't get stolen and even create a more open pass because you see the defender trying to jump it and you end up throwing it behind them because you didn't take the bait. Human opponents expect you to pass immediately to every wide open player that comes open. So when they have a chance to disrupt it, they will. So don't be afraid to wait an extra half second to make sure the pass is truly open before hitting the button. When running a pick and roll, you want to go into it being ready to pull up from 3 as soon as you go around the screen, if the player you're using hopefully has that ability. And one way to help you decide if the coast is clear is using the defensive shade mechanic to your advantage. Its purpose is to tell you which side the defender is guarding you, but you can also use this to tell when you're deemed wide open to shoot by the game, which visually is when you no longer see red around the player at the bottom, telling you it's time to pull up. A quick way to get into a pick and roll without letting your human opponent see it coming from a mile away and jumping all over it is starting with the power forward or center having the ball and passing to somebody on the perimeter while the ball handler is on the move. So their momentum carries them into whoever you're passing to. And then hitting L1 to LB on your controller to call for a screen. Since it will use the closest to you of the power forward or center to set the screen, that's why we start with either of them having the ball. It happens so fast it won't give your opponent enough time to hedge hard and slow down their off-ball defensive adjustments. When running the pick and roll, if their hedge defender isn't crashing hard on the ball handler, odds are the mid-range will be there for you as you drive to the hoop. And the sooner you do it, the better, because the hedge defender jumps or tries to contest, guess who's wide open for the offensive rebound? Catch and shoot situations are another where it helps you greatly just checking where the defenders are in relation to yourself before you go for the shot. Because an open jumper can turn into a heavily contested or blocked shot very quickly. So while the ball is in the air and before you commit to your shot, check and see where the nearest defender is to you. And that will give you enough information to decide if it's worth it to still shoot or wait and see if they fly by you trying to jump. And to improve your alley-oop ability, you have to know when to not throw them. And that's when the guy you want to throw to's path is blocked by a defender. Or you have a weird angle like you're both coming down the middle of the court. The game won't give it to you here. So you want to make sure you have a clear lane to make sure the ball gets to your target cleanly. And to not miss the actual dunk, you have to nail the dunk meter, where all you have to do is land the meter inside the white tick that's inside the green. But it's pretty forgiving, so as long as you land inside the green period, you shouldn't miss the dunk. And you can stop the tick with the shoe button or flicking the right stick in any direction. Instead of letting the game choose between your power forward or center to screen for you when you hold L1 or LB, you can manually decide who you want to run a pick and roll with of your 4 other teammates. To do so, on current gen, you tap L1 or LB on your controller to bring up your icons, and then hold the player's icon that you want to come over to you. Now, on last gen, after hitting L1 or LB, you then hit R1 or RB for positional play calling to bring up everybody's icons. And then you can hold the player you want to screen for you's icon to have them come over again. So if you want your point guard to screen for your power forward without it being a set play, this is how you do it. If you end up in a clear mismatch from one of your players switching, you can fix this and switch with a more suitable teammate by holding the X or A button on your controller. If you need to intentionally foul the ball handler to stop a mismatch or stop the clock, you hold the square or X button on your controller. You can assign your L1, LB button to either call for a double team of the ball handler, or what this is about, ask for help defenders to come over and stand in the path of the ball handler, which can come in handy in the post when they have another player near the hoop and you can help off waiting for the ball handler to attack, thus forcing him to pass it off. By selecting call for help under help defense button function in your controller settings. So alright sports gamers, hope this video was able to help you out, and if you like the content we provide, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And once you're with us, hit that bell icon at the bottom so you don't miss anything we put out. Alright people, I'm Chris. Thank you all for watching, and be good y'all.